to put P2P in the fucking title of this because that one video I did. I don't know if you saw that my live stream I did where I talked about how much I hate bug eyes and EJ205s. I talked about all the block issues we're having with P2P's blocks and other people's blocks that we've got, and how much I love bug eyes and 205s. So that was a good stream. It was like 45 minutes long, but it from a lot of people that watch it, and including myself who watched it later on, one of my best live streams ever, I have to say. It was good. It was good. The best stream that I had where I was wearing my clothes. So, yeah, it was good. I had sushi. We went to Fujiyama's, which is a hibachi steakhouse place, and it was definitely delicioso. Wait, that's not Japanese. That's Spanish. What's delicious in Japanese? I don't know. So we figured the problem. So the stream extra crispy today. No, that's just my fucking fatigue on my face. And it's vertical because I need the ability to turn the camera around like this. For some reason, when I'm in landscape, it won't let me do that because the button to do that is hidden behind the camera that goes through the fucking screen. Yeah, I know, it's dumb. So, there's only one person watching. It's just you so far. I was hoping for people to show up before I covered what we discovered. I was, yeah, I know, right? Then does that. I was looking at the blocks. We were trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. We were putting different bearings in it, looking at how the tension of the bearing changed as it went in certain angles. And for a second, we were like, maybe it's the thickness, not the overall, internal diameter. Or that maybe it's just the thickness of the thrust flange, and that's what's causing it. So we measured the thrust flange, and the loose one was larger. And we're like, what the fuck, right? So like the thrust flange is thicker. That should be a tighter bearing, and it wasn't. So we're like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And then I get it, it's in there, and I wiggle, I go, well, hold on a second. I can feel there's still clearance on the thrust flange, even on the bigger one. So I'm looking at this one, okay. And then it puts some pressure in it sideways. I'm looking around, I go, well, maybe not. I'm starting to notice that now that there's definitely pressure on it in the crushing direction for the way you'd crush the bearing. And in one block, but not the other. So I start looking at the block again. I go, wait a second. There's some weird lines in the mains here. There's this weird line that goes down the main bearing bore at an angle towards from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. And I'm looking at it and I see, wait, part of this is machined and part of this looks like it's not. So I was like, well, we should probably bolt this back together and measure it to see if that shadow that I'm seeing is indeed what I thought it was. So Nick bolted the thing together, and he comes over to me later on and says, yeah, this block needs to be thrown away. And he looked at it and he goes, yeah, it's pretty far out around. But so I looked at it, and sure enough, oh yeah, it's about 4 thou or so. And then he goes, wait a second, that needle's in the wrong spot. So if you look here on the gauge, right, there's a little tiny needle inside. That's 10 thou. And then you got the big one outside, which is in increments of 1. Well, large increments of 1, right? And then tenths in between. So I'm looking at it like, oh, so it's tight. It's 2.4998 on this one and 2.5002 in the other direction. And he goes, wait a second. Where's that needle? I look at it and I go, holy shit, dude. You're right. That's not the right place. This fucking thing is 10 thou out of round. Check this out. Let's see if I can show you at the same time while I'm measuring and camera jazz. Okay, here we go. See that? Kind of see that. Looks pretty good. Looks a little white. Let's try to get this focus better. All right, here we go. So I'm putting in the bore here. And where it stops right there, we see a -2. So I went, oh, it's 4998 because it's zeroed at 2.5. I go, okay, so that was one way. And I go the other way. Oops, we'll go this way. And then I check this. Now this is like 80 degrees out from where I just did it. Like, oh wow, it's +2 now. That's 4 thou off. But if you look at that tenth needle, if you can see it, right now it's at the 2, right? Yeah, it's just shy of the 2. But in this other angle, Again, this is only like an 80-degree change, spinning it in the bore. It's past the 3. That's almost a 10th swing. It's like 8th swing. Now if you look at here, this is where it's, this position here is where I'm getting the what turns out to actually 2.5088. And then just turning to here, that's it. Not even a full 90 degrees. It's fucking 8 thou smaller. Now, those are thous, right? It's not tenths. Yeah, it's fucking 8 thou smaller. Now that means I can't fix that. Like, you can't fix that. You can machine the cases 5 thou on each side and then reline hone it, but that still might not be adequate because it's not off in the horizontal plane, it's off in the vertical plane, which means this point here is too far from the center. And so if I machine this down to try and get that close to the center, it doesn't change. I mean, you can see right here, how much is this gonna be close to the center if this is moved over here, right? Jack shit, right? It's not like this here is too close to this or too far from the center. Then I machine the case off here, brings it in the exact same amount of machine, right? This case, if I wanna get this close to the center, I need like a really big press or a welder or something to weld up on this flange and then rehone it. This block that we paid P2P thousands of dollars to machine is fucked. Like, just plain and simple. And what's crazy is that line exists, right? Which side's it on? Right here. Here's the line. You can see the line in the video, right? Is that coming out? See that line right there? Yeah, you can see it. That line, you see goes number 4 too, is diagonal. And what it shows us is that the boring bar, or the hone, whatever they use, whether they use a CNC or a boring bar, looks like it was resting on the block here. And that goes up all the way to the end to number 1. Number 1 actually has full contact all the way around. And I didn't measure number 1. So let's do that real quick. Let's see if number 1's round. Is number 1 even fucking round? Let's see. Let's put this guy here. Yeah, that looks good. 2515. Okay, and then we do horizontal. 2, 5. Yeah. So that's within 5/10 in the same dimension. So this one is basically round. Okay. So it actually, but if you think about it, if that bar is actually at an angle, then that means while it's round, it's also kind of shaped down like this. So it's a cylinder that's tweaked a little bit up. It's not a perfectly straight cylinder. So that sucks. That's another block that we have to add to the list of blocks that have been machined improperly. This one's good so far?
No, this is 6 thou piston wall clearance.
That's what we call a loose build.
6 thou piston in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what if I send the block to get powder coated and we had them powder coat just the bores?
Yeah, that'll do it.
Right? I think we should do that. Ceramic coat the bores? What kind of material could I use that would plate thick enough that the rings wouldn't wear it off?
Duct tape.
I don't think duct tape would work. I don't think duct tape would work.
Gaff tape.
Foil tape.
Foil tape? Foil tape might work.
Gaff tape.
Brass? I think brass is probably too soft.
Gaff tape.
Gaffing tape? Maybe we're just fucked. No. Maybe Nicosil. I think that's a few tenths, right? We get some of that. Yeah. There's the plasma spray, right? People have that plasma spray shit they put in bores and stuff. I know that if I have sex and don't clean soon enough, there's some pretty crusty shit there that we could use, right? That's pretty hard. That was inappropriate for stream, I know. But I thought it was funny because I'm a sick fuck. All right, let's see here. So yeah, this is and it's weird too because like these inserts are supposedly machined, but there's my fingernail is coming off by rubbing this insert, right?
On this side too.
Right? I mean that's like my fingernails. And I know like people be like, well, if you can't get it done, you should do it yourself. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't do it myself. I don't have the equipment. And I've never fucking done it. I can design this shit, But yeah, ain't no thousands. Maybe some hundreds. I don't know. So yeah, so here's 2 blocks from P2P that were both machined improperly. This one is past the point of no return. This one is flubarred, which is a bummer too because it's a 703 case and a 702 case. These were the best fucking castings that Subaru ever offered with a 702 and the 703 case. These are the best fucking ones they had. And they had the strongest sleeves from the factory. They had the steel was a different shape. In fact, I can show you that. I think we can probably see it right now, actually. If I had a flashlight. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Nick. All right. Check this out. This is off subject of the machining, but if you look inside the wrist pin access hole, if you see where it changes color, I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see that? Where am I at? Right there. Okay. You can't see it like that. Let me do this way. Does that work? Try and get it. There we go. So see that color change? How it goes dark to like silver? That dark is the steel sleeve that the aluminum is cast around. And then the silver is the aluminum that was cast around it. Now, if you look at the shape, if you can see it, you see like there's little ridges. But there's only a couple. They're like little half round shaped ridges. Those show the shape of the steel that they use. The outer steel is textured to better cement it, or hold it in the aluminum casting, right? Because they're just some of the metals are not going to melt together. So we got to make the surface rough in a certain shape. And look at the thickness of it. It's a decent thickness. It's a pretty thick liner. Here we have the 705. Is this both sides? Yeah, 705, both sides. Now what you'll see if you look in here, I'm trying to get this light. Now this one's really shiny. Let me get a little rag really quick. You check this out, what you'll see is the color change. Let me get it right here. Okay, the color change is super subtle. Okay, the color change is super subtle. It tells us 2 things. One, it's a different kind of steel that they used, right? Because it's not the same dark gray. The camera might not show that, I don't know. But it doesn't have those half moon shapes. What it's got is these weird jaggedy shapes. Like a little sawtooth pattern. Let's see if I can get that to show. Without, pull this light away some. There's like a little sawtooth pattern where it, come on, shadows. Phone cameras suck. Let me just back that out, right? Phone cameras suck anyways, and I'm no videographer, but I'm working on it. It might be easier to see in this one. Let's see. There's like a little sawtooth pattern in here, and it shows that the sleeve is a completely different shape. It's this weird sawtooth shape, which you think would be good for, better grip, basically, with the aluminum, but it's also thinner. So it's thinner, it's like this weird sawtooth shape, and it's a slightly different metallurgy than the old sleeves. And these failed so much easier than the old 702, 703s. You could run so much more power in the 702, 703s than you could in these before the sleeve would crack by number 4. Like if you know V8 bait, right, Junior and CJ, they have the CJ's white 06 STI that did 9s on the stock long block. You ain't fucking doing that on a 705 casting. It just ain't happening. The 705 casting would have failed on number 4. It just can't do it. This casting though, the 703, 702 casting series was way stronger. I think 704, can't recall if 704 was similar to this too, but 704 was also different. I think 704 had a ringed one, or this is like the sawtooth. I think 704, these bumps were in this plane, and so it was like a ringed cylinder, which I think made it strong too because you have rings that you're expanding against. We have 704, don't we? I thought one of these was a 704. 705, 704 right here. 704. 704. No, it's a little sawtoothy, but it's a different direction. It's more of a ring like I was talking about, but it's like a still sawtooth. It's not a soft half circle. And the sleeve is darker too. It's a darker color than the 05. Yeah, that's a weird sawtooth. Yeah, well, obviously I can't show you shit on a phone. I have to like take some videos all zoomed up, or pictures zoomed up. Here's a straight 702 casting right here. 702, 702. That's nice. This one actually has a thin sleeve. On that plane. Oh, okay. Yeah. This 702 actually has a thin sleeve. Oh, what, is this one board to 100?
I don't know what this one is.
Okay,
This,
this is the one then, yeah.
factory. I don't think this one's even been machined yet. It's dirty as crap.
Yeah, it's been board. I think because we had one board to 100. This is the 100 one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I'm like, that sleeve is really thin. But that's the 100 thou, or the 100 millimeter board one. That was one that they fucked up and made it way too big before, so we had to bump it out a smidge to 100 and figured we'd use that on like a factory rebuild kind of, you know, semi-signature build. But anyways, so it's a bummer that the ones you can't get anymore, the 702s and the 703s, got ruined. It's just a shame. There we go. And what is it? What is it?
703.
Yay! You got a stronger one. Yeah. Yeah. So right here, this little thingy. Anyways, yeah, so that's a bummer. It's a bummer that this thing was machined in such a way that makes it completely not usable. It's frustrating too, because you wait weeks for an engine to get built, or a block to get machined, I should say. And our customers wait, and then it comes up fucked up, and we send it back and get another one, and it shows up fucked up, and we gotta send it back. And it's basically, I think, what to do with all the botched blocks. I mean, I got a lot of papers to hold down. There's a lot of papers to hold down, so I might just do that ream by ream. I don't know. It's frustrating. It's super frustrating because, you know, like, we got guys whose cars have been here for months, right? And we look like the assholes, and here we are doing our due diligence, verifying that it's right. I mean, you could have got this shit and put it together, right? I could have got this thing, could have threw the crank in it. It probably would have spun. I mean, it would have in the back, especially, right? Would have spun. And then in a couple thousand miles, it would have also spun the bearings. But we'd have got the car going. And the customer would be like, I got my car, yay! And then he'd make 600, 800 wheel, and he's like, oh man, yeah, I just made too much power. I fucked the bearings up, right? And we'd be like, yeah, probably, that would make sense. But in actuality, it was the machine shop screwed everything up. So we're doing our due diligence and verifying that everything is machined correctly so that we can build a quality block for somebody. But the problem is we can't get a machine shop right now to do the machine work correctly. So that's very frustrating. Yeah. Igor's has got the IAG block, and it's at the machine shop right now. But we're pulling it out of that machine shop because they already fucked up enough of our blocks, and we're stopping before they machine it. We're taking it to another shop that we've used in the past that seems to do a better job. They had a rough spot, so we stopped using them for a while, and then they've done a bunch of things to get better. So I guess we're gonna use them. But part of me really wishes that we had our own stuff. But then again, like, I can have all the machines here, but nobody here has experience running the machines. So it isn't like all of a sudden, just because I know what I want to see, you know, out of a block, then it doesn't mean that I can make it happen, right? Yes. The answer is because they also have not got us one that's machined correctly. We've used them too. To be honest with you, like, how close was the FA?
Close in what way?
Measurements and stuff.
It's been too many days.
I know. You've looked at like 6 blocks since then. I understand.
I know somebody had ground my rings, and
Oh, that was what they did?
and they were all sorts of screwed up.
Right.
Mains were good.
Yeah. And then rods are us anyway. So the mains were good. What's pissing the wall? Oh, yeah, that's good. But there's a little variance in that one right there,
Little
but
bit of
nothing that I
variance.
would freak out about. Yeah. Oh, that's my face. You guys like that? Oh, yeah, look at that stuff there. Dry lips. There's like the sheet, right? I don't know if you can see that. There you go. There's all the measurements that we take, right? That's a lot of fucking measurements. And shit comes out wrong sometimes. So, yeah. So anyways, like I was saying, we do our due diligence and making sure that the stuff is getting delivered to us and correctly so that we can put it, you know, together and get a good block for the customer. But so far, we've had really bad luck. Yeah, the other mentioned people, so far I've yet to get one from anybody that's been right. Most of them we got to have redone locally. But in the case of this one here, it is not able to be redone locally. Yeah, see, that's my concern. So like we said, not many shops would catch that. Yeah, and that's what worries me. And also, I was saying this to the guys earlier. I go, hold on a second. Now, these other guys are using the same company for the blocks, and they've got there running cars that seem to do pretty fucking good. So are they all out there just running shit clearances? That's what I just ask. Like, are they running shit clearances and they're getting away with it and they're just lucky? Or, I mean, there's a local guy who goes out and it seems like he blows his motor almost every time he fucking goes out. Doesn't stop him from talking shit about us, but that didn't happen. That's the same thing with the rally guy. The other rally team would fucking blow his engine up every other outing, and they would still talk shit about us. And we went 3 seasons on the stock motor with just my tune. Well, we slightly modified it, but then just the tune and everything. Got second in the series, missing 2 events, but we don't talk shit about it. But they were talking shit about us all the time, and they were blowing up their engine every fucking event, pretty much.
It was every
Every other event, yeah. So, like, yeah, right. Yeah, it's the high power. It has to use a quart of oil every 500 miles. It's all the horsepower that does it, So, exactly right. So I wonder, like, are these guys all just getting lucky, or are we just getting unlucky? Like, are the shops just sending us their shit, or what? I don't know. It's really frustrating. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's the problem. I mean, obviously, I think you can see that you can trust us because we're over here catching all this shit. The problem is, you got to wait a long fucking time for us to get you one because we can't get this shit to put together correctly. Which is why a lot of places like IAG, for example, brought their machining in-house. They had a hard time getting their stuff done correctly, so they hired some guys and that kind of stuff. But that being said, there was a period of time where I couldn't get a good block from IAG either. So I think that period has passed. Igor hopes that period has passed because he has their block. We haven't measured it yet. We sent the machine shop to do the bore and hone for us, but in hindsight, we probably should have checked the mains first before even sending it out to them to get honed, right? And we didn't have them do the hone, right? We didn't have IAG do the bore. They just did the closed decking, the pinning of the mains, the half-inch head studs. Oh, that's one thing, right? The half-inch head studs weren't tap deep enough on the other block.
On the FA, yeah.
On the FA, yeah. That was from IAG, and the head studs wouldn't go in all the way because they weren't tapped all the way down. On 7 of them? Yeah, on 7 of the studs. So we had to re-tap 7 studs to get in, or 7 holes to get the studs in all the way for the head studs. So, yeah. So far, really, we're batting 1,000, as they say, in this. It's crazy too because when I ran MPS, all of our blocks were good. No one got shit. All the clearances were always right. And we had a machine shop that was across the street from us, and they did all our work, and it was really good. Unfortunately, that guy and I had a falling out about 7 years ago, but he's also across the state now. He's not even local. Wouldn't make a fucking difference. But yeah, the machine work was good, and everything was fucking spot on. Oh, actually, that's not true. We had fallen out once when we were there. Went to another machine shop called ATS in Everett, and they did a really good job. ATS and Everett did a really good job with our blocks. And then I got sick and closed MPS. So, but yeah, like that was nice because they were still close. They were a city away, and their machining was really good, and we could always rely on it. Either that or Craig was fudging the numbers, which I don't think was the case. And I still have all the blueprint sheets for all the engines that we sold. I have moving boxes in my shop right now that are just full of the blueprint sheets for all the engines that we sold. Completely full of all the blueprint sheets. So if someone emailed me and said, hey, I got this block here and I'm going to tell you what the specs were on it, I technically could. I don't think I would, though, because that's fucking like 7 years ago. And I'm like, if it's still alive or if it just failed, you got your life. You got a good job out of it, If you're making 7 years on a high-power Subaru, like we did our job, who gives a fuck with the specs were, get another one. Unless he's trying to mirror that to have it last another 7 years, I guess. But, yeah, so we're trying, guys. If you're one of our customers that's in line for a block, we're fucking trying. And we're doing our damnedest to try and get the right stuff. And unfortunately, it takes a lot of attempts sometimes to get it right. Here's something too. Check this out. this guy, this engine was probably in a track car, if I had to guess. Because that discoloration there at the water pump is from running just water and on water wetter. Whereas this one was owned by somebody who just drove their car. This is a daily driven car. Notice no discoloration of the aluminum and cooling system. But that one there, that one had water in it. So.
That short block came out of the Forester too. It's got the Forester VIN on there.
Oh, really?
On the side.
Oh, the 4. Was it 4? No, the JF.
JF1.
Oh, yeah,
SG.
4 is the fucking legacy stuff. Or
JF1.
S. 8 is what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, SG is a Forester one. But why was the VIN on it? Did only the Foresters
Only
get
the
VINs?
Foresters put VINs on their blocks.
That's fucking
Or
bizarre.
maybe the Legacies did. I don't remember. But I know the Foresters for sure. They had their VINs on the side of the engine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
None of my cars ever had the VIN on the side edge. And I've had so many Subarus, but no Foresters. No VIN. But yeah. Oh, this one's rebuild. The R dot stamp on it. So this was a replacement. I thought the R dots were done by Cummins a long time ago or something like that. They used to rebuild blocks of Subaru. That'd be weird because we bored this. Well, we have this one done. Who fucking knows? Who knows? Who knows? I'm sure someone with a fucking spreadsheet somewhere knows. Anyways, any other questions, comments, or jokes that I need to fucking answer before I end it? That's why you guys are doing the work. I'll wait a year and have it done right. I appreciate that, Matt. We're definitely trying really hard to get everyone's shit right. Because I want, yeah, both of these. These are both P2P blocks. Both the ones that are machine fucked up. This one to the point of being, I'd throw it away bad, is P2P. So that's a shame. This one is literally a fucking paperweight. $2,800 paperweight. Yay. If he just came in there, Kendrick, this thing is 8 thou out of round on this plane. It's 8 thou larger. It's so bad you can see the line where the honing bar or the boring bar was kicked sideways and run through the fucking block as it went down the mains. So that would mean that technically this next one is probably 6 thou out of round. Probably goes 8, 6, 4, 2, and then none on the last one.
Well, other way around. This is the front.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is the one that's not this one that's round. So from the back, 8, 6, 4, 2, even. If I had to guess, let's just fucking try it. Let's see how close my guess is. No, I had the thing upside down, so I can't even read it. Well, my knee told me that it was in spec. Okay, I'm level. Let's see. Oh, at least there's a burr in there. That's nice. Let's see. Oops. I got the crack there. You gotta stay out of the oil feed groove. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, 1, 3 looks like. Now we go to the other plane here. Get it in there. Oops. Let me get in a little more closer. Ooh, look at that. 3, 3, 3, 2. So I was off by a 1/10. So yeah, just about 2 thou out of round. I don't know if you see that or not. Oops, god damn it. Oh, I spun it. Let me do it again. There we go, right there. Whoop. 3, 3 range. So yeah, this one's 2 thou out of round. So that means the next one's probably 4. And that would confirm for sure that what I suspect is exactly what happened. So here, this one is. So that's technically 5, 6, 7, 2. And then this guy is. Well, this one's notchy. Oh, I'm not quite in there. Get a little better. $12. So it's over 6 thou around. Not good. Not good at all. Watch this. Amused. Also amused. Also camera shy. It's kind of cute, really. Ah, fuck. How's that skyline coming? Give me some good news. What?
Miles off.
What is?
Elbow.
Yeah, but we can improvise.
And blow that in for a pipe right off.
So my turbo's on the bench still? Fuck! I just wanted some good news.
I'm sorry.
Nope, nobody needs today.
How?
The good news is this car still runs and sounds good.
Alright, well, with that same turbo, did you see the bullshit that I had to do to keep the charge pipes on Dom's
My RS.
We're not doing that.
The zip tie.
We're not doing that.
Well, so I knew this was going to be an issue because this
No,
thing goes down so much. But like, what's this right here? This is where it connects?
Yeah, it was pulling it out of the lower coupler and pinching the rubber coupler down here.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Could you flip it around?
I don't think it fit right. It stuck like way up all, probably too far.
I mean, the clamp ain't on it. I'm looking at a hose there with no clamp on it. But the turbo's back in.
It's all back together. It's all back together.
It's just a turbo. I wanted to make some fucking power today. I mean, I realize it's like fucking 2 inches difference.
Yeah, it's a considerable amount. I mean, this coupler was like this, and it was like there was a big pinch.
I mean, I got duct tape.
If I'd have had one with a 20-degree like bend on it, it would have fit perfect.
I'm telling you, I have duct tape.
I'm not duct taping it just for a couple of months.
Yeah, Kendrick, you're 100% correct. Let me tell you a little story. My friend Sean, I don't know if you were there or knew about my trip to Ohio when I was doing the twin turbo LS thing. And if you weren't, you should check it out. It's pretty cool. We went from a chassis to a running fucking car in 7 days, including the wiring and putting the engine together, right? So he got a rear end built, a Ford 9, center section, like a whole manufactured 9, right? So it's not a typical, I don't know if you've seen those before, right? They look like big octagons, basically, right? It's a manufactured rear end. The Ford center section fits in there, and then it's got the axle flanges on the end, but it's, it's a whole hand-built rear end. And he got done by Sean Warfighter or something like that, who's like a popular guy for doing rear ends. He's really well known, I guess. Well, we haven't even got the car rolling yet because when that went to happen, Sean was like, this bolt is fucked up on this rear end. So we started looking at it, and the studs that are in the case, the guy put in the case to hold the center section in, were like tack welded from the inside into the case, and some of it broke free and some shit. He's like, what is going on here? And he finally knocks a couple of the studs out and measures the hole, measures the studs. The studs have an 8 thou clearance to the hole. He's like, what the fuck? Like, why are all these studs the wrong size? And he gets the right studs. Hey, look at that. Fucking 6 or 8 thou interference. They hammer right in, nice and snug. So he's fixing his rear end to this guy who's really well known built. And also he pulls the center section out to do all that work. The whole rear end is full of fucking dirt. Grinding dust and dirt and shit like that. Like his center section is a full, like, Strange brand. It's called Strange, if you know, domestic. Strange makes really fucking expensive gear sets and differentials and shit, right? So like the whole thing is Strange rear end. And that it's the nicest shit you can get in a Ford 9, and he's putting into this manufactured housing that's supposed to be the nicest manufactured housing you can get. It's full of dirt and fucking metal flake and grinding material and shit. And then he's like, what is going on? And he looks at the end, and the axle flanges and the tube, they're not square. They're all like, they're off center and shit. Now, granted, the tube doesn't fucking matter, right? As long as the axle flange is perpendicular to the center line, right? Where the axle tube sits doesn't matter as long as it's not rubbing the inside of the axle, right? It's just a support between one end and the other. And as long as the flanges are parallel to each other and in the right place, so the axle sits centered all the way through the housing into the carrier, right? So if the tube's off center, it doesn't matter as long as the flange is in the right spot. The bearing's located by the flange and all of that. So, like, it's not a big deal, but you can look at it and see that it's fucking off center by like, what was it, like 80 thou or something. Like, where's the quality work in that? So he contacts the guys, hey man, this is weird. I have these studs that don't freaking fit, and they're falling out. They came out of the thing, and all that. And the guy was like, okay.
What?
No apology, no guidance on how to fix it, no acknowledgement at all that there was something wrong with it. Like nothing. The dude had no input. Okay. What the fuck? Like, this dude's supposed to be... Yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. So, yeah, it's fucking absurd. I mean, this guy is supposed to be, like, well-known and popular and expensive. Sean spent a ton of fucking money with that guy. Not only did he have him do the rear end, he had him do the entire rear suspension, the whole four-link, rebuild the four-link setup, get the car square because the car wasn't square. It was the previous owner was just as redneck as you can be and didn't have any of that shit straight. Everything was like off center of the car and twisted. It was just all bad. So he paid the dude a fucking ton of money to get this car square and the suspension square and build the rear end, and the dude did a bad job. And then when he was confronted about it, and Sean was super nice. He's always nice. He's like me. That's probably why we get along. Like, we're both really nice initially. We understand mistakes happen. We understand that shit can get overlooked, especially if you're busy. Like, I totally get that. Shit fucking happens. Mistakes happen. Everybody makes mistakes. Whatever. It's that next step. Like what the person does with it, with that knowledge that they goofed up, that makes the difference, and also dictates my next move. I can either be understanding and we can work it out, or I can go fucking ballistic. And if you're my mortgage company, you know that I can go fucking ballistic. Oh, that cunt. Anyway, so, the guy was just like, whatever. Had nothing to say about it. Had no input, had no guidance, no apology, not even a fucking apology, or even an admission of guilt. Like nothing. How do you do that? How do you take, like $8,000 of someone's money, do shit fucking work, and then just be like, oh. It's like the guy that hit my wife, right, with the fucking, I don't know, man. It's like the guy that hit my wife with the RV. Yeah, man, there's just some things life you can't control, Like smashing my wife head on with an RV, motherfucker, you dumbass. Never once saying sorry, just like, yep, that's something. It's something. So, yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how Ryan at PTB handles it. Hopefully good. Hopefully the next video I post about the blocks will be like, yeah, Ryan says, holy shit, I can't believe that's that messed up. Here's some fucking blocks. Here's an extra one for your time. And I'll be able to come on the stream and tell you guys that he's a fucking super cool stand-up dude and took care of the problem. And then when the new ones show up, I say also, these are machined immaculately. The closed decking insert isn't dropping under tension. And the mains are straight and the cylinders aren't fucking tapered, which is what all these other blocks have. So, I'm hoping that I can come back and say you guys that, he either figured it out or he's taking responsibility. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Say what?
I'm just gonna change them on.
Okay.
Let's do it anyways.
So then does that mean we're going to my house right now and doing the Corvette stuff or what?
I mean,
If we do it tonight, then that means we can tune it tomorrow, and then you guys will do your evening shit too.
do it.
So,
We're gonna change them all. Let's get out of here. Let's pull some cars and get the hell out of here.
okay, that sounds fun. Oh, check this out. Tanner got a new wing on this Skyline. Oh, thumb the license plate. You can't know the number. It's not public knowledge.
I don't care.
Oh wait, it totally is. I know you don't care, because you have a brain.
You want my address too?
Right? I said some anti-Muslim shit one day, or actually more like anti-extremist Muslim shit one day, and someone was like, "Oh my God, you can't say that." I go, "Here's my address. Come over. I fucking dare you. My house is protected by lead. So much of it." Yeah. Some dude fucking was road raging on me the other day. I have no idea why. I think this guy slowed down for a construction zone. And he just started like riding my ass and flipped me off and shit, you know? It's like there's a flagger standing in the road, right? There's a flagger standing in the road, and I slow down because he's got the sign that says slow or stop, and I'm trying to, one, clip the guy, but two, if he flips the sign to stop in front of me because there's a huge truck going to cross in front of me, I'm not T-boning a truck or vice versa. So I slow down to a whole 25 miles an hour because it's a 45. Dude is on my ass, tailgates me for like 5 fucking miles in his beat up piece of shit Toyota, and then swerves around me and flips me off. And I'm like, dude, how did you know that I slowed down in that area just to fuck your day up? Like, how did he know? How did he know that there was no way? I wasn't trying to be safe. I was trying to be courteous or polite to the workers or anything. I just wanted to piss him off. How did he know? God, I just couldn't believe it. I was so surprised. Like, you narcissistic, inconsiderate, stupid old geezer fuck. Like, what the fuck makes you think that you're the fucking, like, I just get flipped off for that. Like, what a fucking idiot. So I just yelled, get out of the truck, fucker. And he like took 2 looks and then drove off. Like, that's what I thought. The gun line? I'm not sure what you mean by that. And if that's a joke I missed, I apologize. But yeah. Fuck. Yeah, old bastard. I don't usually get road rage either. Like, but there is 2 things that fucking set me off. It's people merging on the highway at 20 or 30 below the fucking limit, especially when it's a 2-lane highway and you got fucking trucks barreling down behind you. Like, you stupid old fuck. It's called an acceleration ramp for a reason. Get up to speed. That pisses me off. And it's at least 55. Holy shit. There's usually like 35 they're doing, right? And it's really bad in Washington. It's kind of bad in Idaho, as all the fucking idiots from Washington move over here. And then that and people who are just rude on the road. Just plain rude. If you're fucking rude as shit, you drive like an asshole, flipping people off, doing inconsiderate things for no reason because you're just super impatient and your time in life is so much more valuable than the guy in front of you. Or that extra 17 feet that the dude fucking is taking up in front of you that you need to be that 17 feet forward more because that 0.02 seconds is that fucking important to you that you gotta treat people like shit on the road. That's what pisses me off too. I was like, man, I really wish I had some mounted fucking machine guns in this thing. Just like the screen on my dash, it's not actually a reverse camera. It's a camera mounted to the fucking reticle of a scope. He's like, zoop, 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 zoop. Like, all right, here's some copper and brass headed your way and lead. We could build a James Bond car.
Totally could.
I mean, this is public. We cannot build a James Bond car. No. We should not do that, ever. I never even thought of a way of actuating a firearm at a high rate of speed while sitting remotely to it. Has nothing to do with a eccentric fucking circle and an electric motor that would spin around. And especially not if you use a binary trigger. That would be silly.
Oh, God. No, we wouldn't do that.
Oh, shit. Grand Theft Auto 1-3. What's your real name? Just first name. What is your first name? Not your last. I mean, you give me your last if you want. James. Hi, James. Sadly, you have the same screen name minus the number as another guy who is a fucking cunt. And if I ever see him again, I'm going to punch him in the fucking mouth. So every time I see Grand Theft Auto pop up on my thing, I think about this fucking cunt. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to bash that dude's skull in. Sadly, I bought a Corvette, and then he fucking bought a Corvette too, and I saw him again on a C5 page. And I tried really hard to be super nice to him, and the guy started talking shit up on me, shit to me in the fucking, do you still suck at building engines, blah, blah. I was like, you motherfucker. Like, this is like 7 years ago, and you were a dick before, and apparently you're still a dick. Do you have a stand under this? I'm holding the jack handle, but I don't want to twist it. Is there a stand under that, or are you just letting the jack do the work?
I'm letting Jack do the work.
You unsafe fucking hillbilly motherfucker.
It's from Idaho.
Jesus Christ. I know he's from Idaho, but the fucking location established IQ does not mean that he has to work as such.
I'm almost done, though.
I don't care. That's in there for now.
Okay.
Probably not wearing safety glasses either, are you? Jesus.
What?
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
seatbelt? What's the
I said
seatbelt?
safety glasses.
Oh. I have some on my table.
I'm over here grabbing the handle of the fucking jack while he's talking, or while he's under there. Gun line joke is from life. I don't know what that is. I think I need to know now. Life of what? Can't trust your life to 40-cent seal.
What does that even mean?
On the hydraulics, on the plunger in these things, especially in a Harbor Freight Daytona jack. Although this thing has been pretty good. This jack is pretty strong. I have to say, like, the Harbor Freight shit has definitely gone up in quality in a lot of areas. I might need to take that back. Maybe it's everything else has gone down in quality, that it's made Harbor Freight seem like a viable alternative.
Probably it.
I think maybe that's it. I mean, maybe Harbor Freight will start producing EJ blocks for us, and they'll actually be a viable alternative because they're done better than the leading brand. People trust their life to, it ain't their life they're trusting, it's the lack of life. Oh, unless you're talking about diseases and shit. I mean, I think that's why I don't even use a condom at that point, right? Trust your life to a 10-cent condom. Like, I mean, they're more than 10 cents. First off, the magnums are expensive. Just for the width. like Chase said, the tuna can hurts at 20 miles an hour. I actually went to a place once to buy condoms, and this is a funny story. And I went there, and as a joke, I bought some laxatives too, right? But what I didn't realize is they were suppository laxatives. And so I go to the counter with a suppository laxative and condoms, and they were large-size condoms, but they were Kimono brand, right? Which I never heard of. I'm like, all right, cool, large-size condoms, that should be fine. They were so small, like they were slightly bigger than my finger, and I was like, what the fuck? It's because they were Asian brand. They were an Asian large. They weren't a Puerto Rican large, so. That's a true fucking story. But I tell you, the lady at the counter, as I came to at the counter with fucking laxatives and condoms, the look on her face, she was like, what is going on? I had three things. What was the other one? It was something else that was really good, but along that line, she was just so confused. I got home and I was confused too. I was like, oh fuck, it's a suppository? No wonder. A bunch of little dick-shaped pills. Needless to say, I didn't use them. King bearings aren't junk? Well, I'm not saying that. Specifying large. Well, that's the point, because it had to be specified because it was large because they were Kimono brand. And so even the large kimono was teeny tiny. Even too small for you, and I never even seen your shit. King bearings. Okay, so actually, let's do a little king bearing story real quick. Let me explain a little bit of the history of king bearings. So king bearings, the mains especially, used to come in a different box. Like right now, King has this long, skinny box here, right? They used to come in a box that was big and square. Not like the Clevites. The Clevites still have some length to them. But it was a square, flatter, rounder box, okay? Or rounder, square, squattier box, okay? Now, when they came in that series, the Kings were good because they were consistent. You'd get a set and most of the shells were really close to each other. And that's really important. If I want to blueprint a block and verify good clearances, I want shells to be really close so that I know, oh, this one is 1 thou too small. I need to go 1 thou bigger. And trust that when I get a shell that's advertised by them or marked with part number as being 1 thou bigger, that's what I fucking get, right? And they were very consistent, and that was really important. The problem was, and it still kind of is that king bearings, especially back then, killed your oil pressure. And at first they thought it was like, oh, well, our design, it's so much better because it flows more to the bearings and that kind of stuff. Turns out it fucking wasn't. What it was right here. Now, this is different now. Look at this, okay? See those two little grooves at the bottom? Here and here? Those little grooves are the drain path for this number 5 bearing. But that drain path is done on these two spots so that oil comes onto this thrust face and lubricates the thrust face. Well, some Subarus would spin the rear main or eat the thrust bearing up. So King was like, hey, we'll put a bunch of fucking grooves in here. Right? Good idea? No. What happened was They put so many grooves on this bearing, and it was like 6 per shell, per half shell, on both sides, 6 per side. And you figure there's 2 of these, right? So there was like fucking 24 little fucking grooves in here. And it vented off so much oil that it dumped the oil pressure from the engine. Oops, right? And tons of people had issues spinning bearings. Now, King never formally acknowledged that that's what it was, or that they knew that they had fucked it up, because that's a liability, right? So they changed the design. Went from 12 to like, or from 6 to like 5. And oil pressure came up a smidge more. And then they lowered it again. And so by the time you see that the box changed, if you get a set, if you get an older set, you'll see that there's even more than just these 2, right? Well, now they've gone back to 2. Like ACL and Clevite and every other fucking bearing manufacturer has had forever. They went back to 2 because they were like, we can't get oil pressure up. I mean, I'm assuming that's why they did it, right? But all of the research and data shows. Even right here at the parting line, they had relieved them to have a groove here too. So the parting line here acted like another evacuation port. And it dumped the shit out of the oil pressure. And one time I was talking to an engineer that worked at King on the phone, and he acknowledged that that was the problem. Yes, very much so, at the expense of many spun bearings. And so he acknowledged that that was the problem, but then when I talked to somebody else, they're like, oh no, that's not the problem, right? So one guy fucking slipped, shouldn't have said it, but he acknowledged that was the issue with me on the phone, but nothing in writing. Actually, these are still relieved a little bit. I'm looking at them now. There's a slight taper to them at the parting line. Very, very slight. It used to be much more obvious right there, but yeah, so they had a lot of feeds essentially to the thrust bearing, which is a good idea to feed the thrust bearing adequately, but they did it at the expense of oil pressure on the mains. Yeah, I've done that, and you know what? It wasn't great. It dumped pressure so much that like even the 12 mil pump and everything couldn't keep up. My car, I have single AVCS on my car, and I have King mains in it, and it's the series before this, so it has more holes in this, but it's not. Excuse me, it's not the 6 holes or 6 grooves, but it's more than just these 2. And my car has shit oil pressure, so I put an 11 mil pump on it, and I shimmed it, but that shim doesn't do anything for fucking idle pressure. I still have like 12 to 15 psi at idle, which to me is unacceptable. Now, I say it's unacceptable, but it's not necessarily unacceptable, right? And that's where the caveat is with oil pressure. And that's why oil pressure is so misunderstood. Why is the pressure low? That's the key. Is the oil pressure low because it's being dumped from the main bearings and not making it to the rods? Or is the oil pressure low because the rods are big and the mains are allowing full oil flow to the rods and is dumping it out at the rods? If it's the latter, that's fine. If the oil pressure is low because the majority of the flow is going through the rods and dumping out, and the bearing size or the clearance is big enough that it just isn't holding a ton of pressure out there, that's okay. Because oil's primary job, well, obviously, is they say lubricate, right? But what's that mean, lubricate? Lubricate means I have a hydrostatic film on here, or an oil wedge, as some call it, that prevents contact of the crankshaft to the bearing itself and provides a non-direct contact, right, for the crank and the bearing. Okay, so now from there, what else does it do though? It's to remove heat, and that's an extremely critical function that people don't necessarily think about. The heat is still formed in that area, and so the oil has to remove heat from the bearing for it to work. And in order to remove heat, the clearance has got to be big enough to get enough flow through it to remove the BTUs that are generated in that region. So I can have an engine with perfectly good clearances and have it say 1.6 thou on the rod, which is, well, 1.8 is where they come from the factory. And STI has 1.8 on the rods from the factory. I've seen them as tight as 1.7, that's it. And that's fine, that's great. But as my power goes up and my duty cycle goes up, the heat generated there, especially as RPM goes up, also goes up. And if that clearance isn't big enough or the oil isn't thin enough to have high flow through that area, I will overheat that bearing and it will fail. Now, I take that same clearance and I bring it to 2.2 or 2 thou or whatever. Now, the pressure is going to be lower, but the flow is going to be higher. And I will still maintain an adequate oil film, oil wedge, hydrostatic film, whatever you want to call it, and I will have increased the cooling to the bearing. So unfortunately, oil pressure doesn't tell you the whole fucking story. You could have amazing oil pressure and spin all your fucking bearings because your rod bearings are set at 1 thou, right? You have amazing oil pressure. Oh, look at the oil pressure, but my engine failed. Why is that, right? Everyone told me I want at least 10 per thousand, which is fucking garbage. I want 10 per thousand RPM. And they backtrack on that. I used to spread that propaganda too, or that myth as well, because I thought that was indeed the thing, because some old crusty fucker told me that's what it was, and I respected him and trusted him, and I thought that 10 per thousand RPM was also the standard. So I am guilty of spreading that around. So there it was, twice in one day. I admitted I was wrong. Holy shit, is lightning gonna strike me? So, sorry. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, oil pressure doesn't tell the whole story because, like I said, it could be really good and you can spin all your bearings because you're not removing heat from the bearings. It could be really low and it could be fine. A lot of professional race cars target around 20 pounds of oil pressure. They have the flow, they have the viscosity that's appropriate, and they want the least amount of horsepower lost to turning the oil pump. And so they have 20 pounds of oil pressure. And that's it, 25 pounds, something like that. And that's at full tilt. Yeah, right? People go, really? Yeah, really. That's absolutely true. If you follow Ben Schrader's Spinal Tap, I think they only have 25 pounds of pressure on that thing. I think it's what he said they have. It's like 25 pounds of oil pressure, and he turns it to past 11,000 RPM on their freaking LS. Because he's smart. Oh, hey! Turn it off. I just heard all your bearings fail. I'm just kidding. Did you work on that oil, the air valve? Show me real quick. So I should measure oil pressure and temp. Oh, temp is absolutely critical, absolutely. So I have a lot of people that ask me, wait, sell the engine on Amazon or the book? So I actually wrote an article back in 2007 or 8 called shit. What was it called? It was in a couple magazines, and it was about how to modify the EJ to handle the duty cycle of being an airplane. I don't know if you guys remember, but I used to put EJs in airplanes. I helped design a bunch of the systems. Actually, what it really is, I corrected the design of the systems, to be honest with you. And then I did all the tuning and the cooling systems and all that kind of stuff. So the article I wrote was about modifying the EJ25 to work in an airplane to handle the duty cycle. And in there, I talk about the oil flow and how important it is to get oil flow balanced to all the rods. And somebody quoted me on that, who misquoted me, but on that D-stroker, discussion they had, one of the streams where they had the podcast, Clint quoted me, or basically said what I had said. I don't know if he actually quoted me on it, but he explained like how the clearances are being different. He had it off a little bit, but he was basically taking the idea from that article that I had posted and talked about. But I do talk about how important it is to get the bearing clearances the same, especially on 2 and 3 because they share a journal, a bunch of things like that. But so there is an article about it that I've already written. Like, fuck, what is that, 13 years now? 14 years now? It was 7 or 8, 2007 or 2008. Okay, show me your thing.
Okay, so
Yes?
hose here
Okay.
runs to this side of the motor.
Okay, that's your out of control motor?
Yep.
Okay.
Other side runs down
Uh-huh.
up into here, which this plumbs through, and this hose goes into the bottom of the plenum back here.
Huh. I mean, that's a good size hose. And that's the correct flow path through the solenoid? You verified that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for those that don't know, this is an RB25 with the Neo head on it, right? The Neo head, which has got the variable cam time, but I think it's just a switch on and off, high and low. I don't know why it can't be variable though. Like, I feel like we should be able to make it more variable than more on and off.
Right.
We have the technology to do that. And we should try that at some point. Anyway, so this is the good RB25, basically. And in honesty, fuck the 26. This one's better. He's like, yes, that's correct. Yeah. So these things, if you know RBs, they don't have a very good idle control system. And in some cases, they don't have any idle control system. It's just absolute trash from Nissan. And so his, when he brought it, or when he got it, it didn't control idle for shit. He just kicked the fucking throttle plate open more while it was cold, and then eventually, when it warmed up, it would hopefully idle decently. But it doesn't have any closed bottle control besides timing. Obviously, I got the timing established, and that helps a ton. But, you know, I can add 5 degrees of timing at it when it's cold to help it idle a little better, but I still can't get more air into it, which only helps so much. Or if I add the air that needs for cold idle and add all the timing, then when it gets warm, I got to pull all the timing out of it, and then it's running really high EGTs and burning inefficiently because I got timing down at 3 degrees of idle, which isn't ideal either. And so what we want to do is get idle control to work. So we put well, first we put a $40 idle air control valve that I got from China, and in here, and we realized afterwards that we had wired it incorrectly, but it didn't work. Partly because we wired it incorrectly, but when I tested some other features with it still in there, it still didn't work. So I don't know if we smoked it, we wired it incorrectly or not, but it doesn't work. So then we went and said, well, screw this Chinese-made one that I don't know anything about. Let's get a proven one. So we got the Haltech one, which is a Bosch valve. It's right down here. And so he wires it in correctly this time. We verified that it was the right pins to the right places, and it still doesn't fucking work. It doesn't even seem like it's activating at all.
I wonder if the switch on in the ECU's...
Right, we're wondering if the ECU just doesn't, if the pin isn't fucking working. Or maybe because you mentioned that these things didn't have drive-by-wire control, maybe they don't have the idle control activated in there for the driver. I don't know, but we should be able to use any output, and the logic in the ECU should allow it to function properly. But when I put it on test on that pin, that output, nothing went clicky. Verified power at the solenoid, and I could have swore we toned the wire out for the signal, but we're gonna do that again tonight before we leave here. We'll tone that wire out one more time. But right now I was just looking to see what his airflow path was, and it came from one side of the throttle body, right, and went into the solenoid, and then went to that vacuum block up there, which then goes to the manifold. So I'm not a huge fan of that for 2 reasons. One, depending on the amount of air that flows through that pipe, the pressure in that block can be different than the pressure in this manifold. And the engine runs off the pressure in this manifold, not the pressure in that block. So if I'm in a situation where I have a lot of flow through there, it's going to drop the pressure. It's going to raise the pressure, and it's going to have less vacuum than this will. And so these will indicate a higher map than is actually contained in here at high airflows. At low airflows, that hose there that feeds, it's a pretty good sized hose right there. That hose there will be adequate enough that we don't have a large pressure drop into this block. But if that hose ever kinks or anything, then all of these readings up here are fucked. Like, I don't like vacuum blocks ever. That's just something I don't like because of the fact that you have to rely on this hose and that the readings are so dependent on the flow rate, right, from that big hose that goes down under the plenum and into here. So that being said, I don't think that though is why the idle's not working. And we could test that. We could pop this hose off and then start the engine. And if it fucking revs up like crazy, then we know that this block and this hose are a large enough size to supply air to the engine to create a high idle. I would think so. I would hope so. But we're going to test that anyways. And then the question is this thing freaking working? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend I'm a Taiwanese hooker, and I'm going to take my lips, I'm going to wrap it around that freaking hose, and I'm going to suck like freaking nobody's business when the engine's running, and I'm going to see if I'm getting airflow through that hose, because I ain't getting any pressure unless I put a compressor on that thing. But I'm just going to try that because that's easier. And if that's not opening at all, I will know because my cheeks will collapse and my head will implode. And if it is flowing, then I should get a good dose of post-turbo air, and I'll have a nice coated oil in my mouth. So, but we're gonna try that anyways, and that's how I'm testing it. Because why are you laughing at me?
Cheap Taiwanese hooker.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that part. All right. So let's do that first. Let's pop this off, and we can see if there's enough airflow through that hose to give you super high idle. And there should be. I mean, this is a good size hose. But maybe there's a kink that we don't see. And if there's a kink we don't see, then we'll know. We'll know. Let's see here. The duoholic. Oh, that's whoopsie. That's Ron, right? Ronnie, aren't you duoholic? Just like a so. All right. Well, first we want to see if the thing goes up.
Okay.
And in theory too, if this turbo is making boosties, like especially in high idle, it'll push some air. There should be some air blowing out here because this throttle body's shut. So I should get some air blowing out here too. Yep, standing by. Nope, there's not enough airflow to pick this idle up. Say what?
This one goes right to the plenum.
What's the other one go to?
This one runs into the block and then into the plenum. So what I'm thinking is we can run this straight to this, and then run a hose from there to here. Because this is just the brake booster.
Okay, and you never use brakes anyways.
No, I didn't use brakes.
Okay, so let's pull off this check valve real quick and see if this has enough airflow to bring the idle up. Again, we would think it would. But with a vacuum leak that size, it should have went through the roof. It should have revved up really nice, but it did not. This hole feels too small in this block or something. I don't know what the internal volume is of this block, but presently it's not impressive.
I was gonna hook this one and this one together.
Oh, just for testing?
Yeah.
I'd rather just left it open because I want it to be
Oh.
just like that first.
Okay.
Just to see if the total flow is enough. I mean, it's barely enough. Look at that. 1500. Okay, so the post light was a little rich. So if we had this much flow, what's temperature right now? 30 Celsius? So that's about enough. But barely. Barely enough. Okay, hold on a second. Pull some back off again. I mean, it's almost enough. Still a little shy. All right, I'm gonna test this hose really quick. I might actually blow instead of sucking, all right? It's got some airflow through it. My lungs didn't collapse, my head didn't implode. Okay. Oh yeah. What do we got now? I gotta show you guys what I'm doing here. I'm holding two hoses together with one, and my pinky's holding this fucking thing shut. And I'm holding these two hoses together with my hand, all one-handed. Oh, now I'm losing suction. All right, connect them.
I think this one's too big.
That's too big. Yeah, we need a smaller one. That was pretty funny. Oh. All right, so now I get my laptop and plug into the ECU and change the duties and see if the engine RPM responds to commands. And if it does not, then the valve still isn't actuating. But I sucked on it And while it didn't spurt at me or anything, it definitely didn't block my flow. So, should be all right. Turn this way. I need to look at my fucking double chin. I'm getting so fat last couple weeks. I got sick and, man, like, the weight just fucking came flying on. Must have been all the Doritos I ate before I got sick. I don't know. I'm gonna see my doctor. Okay. Get some link action in here. Sorry, I'm in portrait mode, guys, but I had to do this so I could switch the cameras around. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, it doesn't, oh, now y'all know my fucking password. That was smart of me, wasn't it? It doesn't, allow me to do this.
I was thinking about plumbing them for now.
Because the change camera side button is behind the fucking lens of the camera, which is stupid as hell. This is the Plus, right? Not the X? Yeah. I have a few programs. Oh, look at this. That's a few tuning programs right there. And that's not all of them. That's just a few of them. Too damn many. Why can't everyone just use the same thing? Just kidding. That wouldn't be any fun. And my computer. Come on over. I actually, so I got an email from the storage unit today, actually, that said, we're raising the price of the storage. And I said, okay, I will be canceling my thing and taking my business somewhere else. And then they emailed back, well, we'll meet you halfway. Instead of the whole price increase, we'll just do half of it. I was like, you fucking assholes. I was like, no, hey, I appreciate the email and the offer, but honestly, it was already too freaking expensive, so I'm going to get my shit out before the end of the month. Okay, so we need to go to idle control. Make sure it's still set up properly. Closed loop. Have our 2D for the bass. That's all fine. That's good. We're going to go to our outputs. Out 3. Yep, that's still the solenoid. That's good. I was fucking with the solenoid, trying to do different frequencies. I believe this is too high for that solenoid technically, but I was testing the frequencies because I couldn't tell if it was just not working or what, you know. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go back to idle control.
I have the brake booster plumbed into that distribution block, and then I have the idle control valve directly into the
minimum clamp is 28. I'm gonna set this at like 68. I'm not sure why I did 8, but you know, I want it to go high. So there's no more vacuum leaks. Okay. So either my post start's too aggressive or it's not enough air. Post start looks too aggressive by the AFRs. I'm bringing this up by my foot first so the AFR clears, and I'm releasing. 950. That's not super impressive. Let's go 99%. Hit store just to make sure it does it. That's not going up at all. Let's go F12. We'll go to aux functions. Idle position is 96. Okay, so we confirmed that it's getting 96%.
Have a good night, Dom.
You too, buddy. All right, am I gonna see you tomorrow?
Yeah, I have.
We're at 0 now. Nothing changed.
See what Blade wants as far as me to pick him up and shit, but
Still no change. 0 to 100. Nothing. No change in idle at all.
outputs.
Yeah, I mean maybe the output's fried or something. Let's just tone it out once real quick. We'll tone out the output, and then if it's good, if the tone from the solenoid to here is good, we verify the wire is 100%, then we'll try different output.
So when I was testing voltage on them, when it was on, the main power was 12 volts, and the other one had 3.4 volts.
Which is fine. So the way that they
I
work,
was just saying it was getting voltage, but I don't know if that matters or not.
right? But I don't know if it's activating or not. You know. So it's supposed to be up to 5 volts, and then
What I figured.
when it activates, it should go to 0.
Oh, that makes sense.
So if it was 3, then it's maybe because it's pulsing.
Like half open, like the old one was.
Right. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, before we do that. Excuse me. Oh, I'm offline. Can't do shit offline. I'm gonna change that frequency. I go online. No. I said no. I said no! Now, kitty! Now! Alright, so 96.
Yeah.
We're going to 99.
We're going to
Okay,
tonight.
and we'll go to idle speed control. We're going to go to the output I meant.
Will do, man.
I totally meant the
Take
output.
care. Have a good night.
See you, bud. See you tomorrow. And I'll make a big change. I'm going to go to 20. That's a big difference. Nothing. I mean, it's a big ass valve, right? Typically, those valves like be about 100. Like booster solenoids like 30 or so. Pretty sure a lot of these Bosch solenoids operate at 100 hertz. But hey, do you have the booklet that the valve came in, the bag? Because it had the paper that said what it wanted to be operated at, what frequency it wanted to be operated at. Back here again. Max, 0, enter. Nothing.
I think it's in here.
Yes. So this says 100 hertz. Yeah, okay. Or 70 for their other one. Weird. But yeah, 100 hertz right there. So I was right with that. But yeah, 0 to 99%, no difference. Yeah, that's good. I mean, the O2 sensor works, right?
Both of them do. The cam lambda does also.
Love it. But you get AFR here too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Only thing that's wrong still is the timing.
Yep.
So I talked to Brandon at BTI. He sent me a new configuration file. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but he sent me a new one. So
Do we want to play with that?
yeah, we can test that too. So okay. Well, this one, however, is SO fucking L. It just ain't doing shit.
Here's the temp. It wanders a little bit.
What's that? Oh, right. This temperature at 156 Fahrenheit.
This goes from like 67 to about 71 Celsius.
So for like 8 degrees, it fluctuates. That's really weird. Let's go to closed loop lambda and see the gain table if I got something funny in there. Lambda error there. There's no
Never bothered me because I don't drive it that
there's
temp.
no rate change. For some reason at this temperature, we got some weirdness going on. Fuel table. It's lean back here. So right here, it's a smidge lean. Okay, so let me go check warmth enrichment.
Now look at it. Perfect.
So there's fucking like 6 degrees that messes with us, huh?
Isn't that weird?
That is weird. This might be too big of a drop. Maybe this is what it is right here. Let me just add a little bit to that. My favorite button, page up.
That's what we do with this car.
I can't page up with this. Hold that.
The function?
Yeah. Go a few percent. I mean, it doesn't hurt it to go. There you go. Doesn't hurt to add some. It's just fuel. It's like Brondo, right? Engines love fuel. Plants crave Brondo. It's got electrolytes. Plants crave. That's what it was. Control function. Let's go up, up, up. Add a little more fuel right here. This one. Just add a little bit. Right there. Okay, so we'll add some fuel to the warm right there in that region and see if that fixes it. Because that's a weird oscillation. I don't understand why it even happened.
Just saying it's weird. It's never done that before. And like once we were fiddling with the gauge and then you changed some stuff back.
Yeah.
I think you might have missed that one little spot. But other than that, it's like money the whole time.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Oh, right here too. Maybe this spot. It's this one. But like, that's such a small temperature range.
I know.
And then why it would oscillate? I mean, even if it was only 3% fuel that I added to it, the closed loop control has more than enough authority that it should be able to compensate for that, no problem.
Good to tell ya.
That's really fucking weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
See you later. Now it's perfect.
Yeah, that's fucking bizarre. Table 2 is for ethanol, right?
Yeah.
Why is it lower? Table 1, 61. Table 2. Wait, they're the same table. Huh. That seems weird. Oh, it's because I had initially...
Did it?
No, it's working. I had initially not had the dual fuel set up, and then I changed it to the dual fuel. And that's why. Table 2 should be the ethanol, so... We'll add some more to the ethanol table too. F me. F me, Tanner. Thank you.
Got you.
There you go. Okay, we're in here. I'm gonna shift up.
Good.
Nope, not yet. Not yet. And we're gonna go right there. Yep. Give it to me. Okay, release. And then do it again. And do. Release. Do it again. This is group tuning right here. This is great. Alright. Whoopsie. Okay. Alright, we'll try that. See how that behaves. Everything else is good. It seems to, oh, the post start's a smidge aggressive. The decay time might be too long. Oh, yeah, too long. Too long. No, wait, decay time's good. Hold time might be too long. No, that's pretty good. It's just too much.
Oh yeah. Because they tore the vinyl a little bit.
What's that?
Because they ripped the vinyl a little bit. Thought like I just had the idea like hold on.
Oopsie. I do so many different freaking systems. I forget the hotkeys for all of them.
See my fancy JDM cards?
Sounds good.
That exhaust is awesome.
Yeah, you guys did a great job building that exhaust for sure.
Yeah, Lane killed it. I like
You hear that, Lane? You killed it. All right, Tanner, F me again. Okay. Okay, store that. So 180 Fahrenheit now.
Oh, it's on fire.
Did you ever get that fan hooked up to the ECU so I can?
Not yet.
Jesus.
I know, I'm slacking.
Well, there's no misses right there.
No. Hot start's running.
So it's just the cold start that's a little rough sometimes. Okay.
Yep.
What's all that smoke? Is that?
That's residual from when I put like the coolant lines off the turbo
Gotcha. Okay.
on the manifold.
Gotcha.
It's on fire. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just fire. All right. Cool beans. All right. Let's fucking figure this idle out, huh? I don't know if you guys have heard this car, but it sounds so good. They built their own exhaust for it. The old one was way too low, and it drugged the ground, and
It was really loud.
it was really loud. But it had a muffler, didn't it? It was just straight pipe.
Resonator.
Oh, a little resonator on that. That's it. Okay. And I mean, when the launch control hit, it was cool, but it was just too loud otherwise. And then of course, you know, the car's low, and it was dragging and shit on the ground. So he and Lane whipped up a nice exhaust that's relatively straight. I mean, it follows the lines at the bottom of the car perfectly, but it's pretty freaking straight, and has a vibrant 3-inch,
3.5.
or 3.5 inch.
3.5 inch from the downpipe to the back axle, and then from the axle out the tip is a 4-inch pipe. So the resonator's an 18-inch.
18-inch, 3.5. Yeah, so
big
it's like a
vibrant.
5 or 6 inch outer.
Yep.
So it's a vibrant one, and actually it fucking worked really good, and it sounds amazing. The car just sounds good all the time. There's never a point where it sounds bad. Like on the highway, there's like no drone, because the resonator's like right in the middle, right below the guy here. So
It is right under here.
yeah, right fucking here. So with the resonator being bloop right here, but on the other side of that, it's the right location to stop drone. And if you stop certain sounds before they, you know, closer to the engine, then there's less of it to. It does, dude. It sounds perfect. There's less of it to continue propagating throughout the car and bounce off the walls and everything. So the resonator's in the right spot. Doesn't drone. It sounds freaking great. At idle, it sounds money. And then when you rev it, though, it's like my LS. It just gets fucking loud, but only when you want it to, right? Only when you rev it.
If you want to activate two-step, push the clutch pedal.
I won't. right, now this is in car. It's way louder behind it. But it's good. 3.5 inch exhaust. So what, 3 off the turbo to 3.5 to 4?
Yeah, so it's 3 inch downpipe basically, and then where the V band is 3.5, because when we do the big turbo, we're gonna go 3.5 inch downpipe.
Sweet. Activate 2-step, not anti-lag. Right, 2-step, correct. Yeah, that's anti-lag? It's aggressive. Here, go stand behind it. Sounds good. But, you know, we had a guy freaking tell us that there wasn't enough buildup. It happened too fast. He wanted to hear more whoosh for a while with nothing, and then all of a sudden go blah, 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 right? But it no, as you can see, it's only 185. Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, that guy's dumb.
This one's 198 H2O.
Oh, that's peculiar.
That's weird.
Oh, I'm not connected. There you go. Yeah.
Still not bad.
No, not at all. So yeah, the 2-step worked too good that he didn't like it. He wanted to be like, and then eventually go, I smell oil. Then new turbo install probably has a small oil leak. I smell Earl. Is it off the drain?
No.
Oh.
No, from turbo, it was like steaming out of turbo.
Yeah, well, I'm saying the oil smell now, though.
It is dirty.
We took the turbo off because we don't put a big turbo on. Big turbo didn't fit. And so the old turbo back on. But obviously you break a lot of lines and fittings when you do that, including taking the drain flange off the turbo and putting it back on, and maybe not letting the gasket seal, you know, set up before we're starting the engine. So who knows? We'll have to see if that's where the oil's coming from. If it's not just spilled oil from doing the turbo thing. Definitely want to be certain though, because nobody wants to light this pretty car on fire. Only fire in this car is allowed in the tailpipe. Damn it. Oh. Alright, enough of my mug. So I don't know if you guys have seen the Mako clusters. What?
Good.
It's good? What's the oil smell from?
Just residual when I pulled it off.
Okay. But Mako is a company in Australia, I think they are. They're definitely down under. One of the two. I don't know if they're Kiwis or Aussies. But they've got a cluster mount. I say cluster mount, but it's actually, it fills this cluster void and gives you a place to mount a screen. For extra money, you can have them inset the shape of the screen that you have. And they have dimensions for a bunch of the existing screens on the market. They have like the Haltech 7-inch and the AMs and the AIMs and a bunch of other ones, but they didn't have the screen that I use. I use the BT Innovation screen because I use their gauges. There's their gauge. I love the gauge. It's really cool. But, and the cylinders, yeah, true. So I love their gauges, and so we also use their screens. It's nice to have things just plug in and work. But Mako didn't have that. So I contacted Brandon, the guy that owns BT Innovations. His last name's like Tompkin or something like that. That's where the T comes from. And months later, he finally got back to me and gave me the spec sheet for the dimensions of the gauge cluster, or the screen. And so I sent that to Mako in Australia, and like within a few hours, they'd already input those dimensions into their thing and had a CAD representation of what it would be with those dimensions. And I don't know if it's been updated on the website yet, but it's now something. If you wanted to use the BTI screen, you could just tell them you want the BTI screen, and they have the dimensions for it already. So I'm excited for that, not just for me, but for BTI, because he makes a cool product, and Mako makes a cool product, and to get two people to make a cool product together to offer it to people like us to increase the demand is really freaking cool. I dig it. I'm making something that I've been slacking on. I gotta finish, and it's I'm like this close to finishing it, that's done to increase the attractiveness of an IAG product, and vice versa. Their product will increase the attractiveness of mine. And so by having two items from two different manufacturers that work really good together or made to work together, it helps out both companies and helps out the public to get cool shit. So I'm excited when I'm able to bring other companies together, which I actually do a lot. And I do it for you guys. I love you. Well, my wife's gone. That's why I'm so teary-eyed. I've missed her in like 12 hours. Say what?
I'm taking off.
Your clothes?
What?
You're taking off your clothes?
No.
Oh.
I'm leaving the.
Oh, you're leaving the building. Oh, you're taking off.
Yes.
End of sentence.
Yes.
Gotcha. I was like, this is about to get fun in here. All right.
Yeah.
See you, bud. Thanks for stopping by. He did work here today. I'm the one that's stopping by. He did all the work on the engine and stuff, and I said, thanks for stopping by. Hey, Nick.
What?
Are you coming over tomorrow?
What's happening tomorrow?
We're working on the vet, maybe, and have some fucking burgers and shit.
I'm not sure. My
Maybe-
sister's in from out of town, and so I think my other sister and us we're gonna do some skating around town or something. I'm not sure what
Okay.
the plan is.
Well, tell your sisters I said hi.
Okay.
Give them a little provocative wink for me, too.
That's right.
All right.
Yes.
See you, bud. What's up?
Oh, you're talking about the camber in the front?
Okay.
It was 8.5, now it's 3.5.
Yeah, 8.5 is a little aggressive. So, you want to pin that out, or you want to go to my house now?
Doesn't matter.
You want to go to my house and pin it out at my house? While some work on the vet, some work on the car?
Don't matter to me.
All right, let's
We
do
can
that.
work on just the vet. This thing can wait.
This thing keeps waiting.
It's fine.
All right.
Why do we have to do it when we pull the motor, put the big motor in?
Say what?
So why don't we just repin it and fix it when we pull this motor to put the big motor in?
We can do that. But if we do that, we're also going to weld onto that plenum and put an actual bung for the...
No, 100% agree.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, like, we'll do it so it's right.
Yeah, we'll definitely weld that shit up and get it all...
I'm gonna move this and pull cars in.
Okay. I'm going to go take a piss. And show these guys why I said large condoms. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. It's a joke.
And that only car I need home is the one without the front end.
Yeah?
It doesn't run anymore.
Is that coming in first or last?
Last.
Last. Okay. Yeah, we'll push it in.
Doesn't run anymore.
I should be able to take a leak by then. All right. I think that's it. That's it for now until I start hooking up the laptop again and doing the Corvette shiz. We're going to install the LSXR intake, injectors, fuel rails, throttle body. I'm considering getting rid of the MAF and going speed density on it. I like MAF, but the O2 MAF is relatively restrictive. And so I want to get rid of it because of that. But I have the card style MAF from the later GMs, and I have a weld-on bung, and I have the breakout harness for that. So I could adapt mine to the new style MAF that works in a bigger 4-inch pipe. I heard your rod bearing spin. I'm just kidding. And so I could do that and get rid of all the intake restriction, because that carding and do shit on a 4-inch pipe. And then retain MAF because I like MAF because it's accurate, as long as I scale it properly. But in order to do that, I gotta make sure that I have solid injectors with good injector data. So I'm using factory injectors. No, I haven't. And you know, honestly, the banner, which one? Oh, up on there? That one? The gold one? I have these shirts that are black and have that in gold, foil gold on them. I fucking love that shirt. And I know that seems so tacky and stuff, but just something about that logo in gold on the black shirt looks right. And then we have an American flag on the sleeve and Tier 1 banner on the other. It's a good looking shirt. It's silly. Foil gold on black. Let's say the MAF. Oh yeah, the MAF. So I'm gonna have no restriction on that. But in order to get the MAF scale correct, since it's gonna be just a card style MAF in a 4-inch pipe, I mean, we could have some made and sell them. Then we're going to I need to calibrate it. But in order to calibrate, I got to have the other reference be correct, right? Because the only way I can calibrate that mass is I don't have an actual mass airflow sensor calibrating device. I only have the engine. And so if you have to have accurate injector data, because the injectors have to be 100% correct so that you know that the error is just from the math. So if I do use the GM car style math, I have to make sure I have injectors with 100% accurate data. So I got LS3 injectors, which are 42 pounds per hour, and those have known injector data because they're an OEM. I go right into any factory GM ROM that's equipped with an LS3 that had those injectors on it, and I can pull that data out and put it right into my O2. So, I hope that car's here for an engine, because that is a spun bearing. There's a lot of fucking spun bearings here today. Sorry. So once you get the correct data in there, which I can pull from any GM ROM that has an LS3 in there, get the inject data in it. I know the inject data therefore is accurate, and I can take that and utilize the method of establishing the math curve by knowing that any error from target to actual is due to the math. Now that's kind of it can be a long, tedious procedure to do, especially if the welding job isn't very good and the flange is twisted a little bit. Because if the flange twists a little bit, then I'll have way different voltage to airflow profile than like a standard one, right? If I get it perfectly centered and it's also rotated completely it's completely parallel to the direction of airflow through the pipe, then the calibration should be almost a percentage difference from just the factory math calibration with the factory diameter pipe. So that then it would just be like a percentage. I could check like 5 points along the way. If it's the same percentage difference from the factory math cal, then I know it's basically just the factory scale times 25% or whatever. So, which is basically how you do it anyways to start off with. You take the difference in the diameter and the surface area, figure out what the velocity would be, and then the percentage that's there, multiply that times the scale, gets you your starting scale, and then you got to tweak it from there. But if that card's twisted at all, so the airflow is coming like this, if that card's tweaked a little bit, at low airflows, it's going to be about the same as it would be. It's okay. But as the airflow increases, you start to develop pressure regions across that sensor from one side to the other, high pressure, low pressure zones on it. It's going to totally distort the voltage from that sensor throughout the flow range, and that will create problems. And that is actually exactly a common problem with many of the aftermarket cold air intakes that they sell for Subarus and everything else. They don't get that fucking thing welded in straight. And I've had numerous aftermarket intakes. I'm like, this thing is scaling fine. I look at it, and sure enough, the mass airflow sensor is not parallel to the direction of airflow. It's twisted. Yeah, that doesn't help. To be honest with you, that doesn't do anything. Because you still have the same total surface area, and so you still have a reduction in flow, and you have half of the flow in one pipe versus the other. So it doesn't really help. The only thing having two MAFs is really good for is on a system that has two intakes or two throttle bodies, and then you can either add or average to establish what it is. But you don't get more airflow compared to one larger one, right? The airflow range you get is still the same, and the resolution is still the same. And that's the problem with MAFs. Otherwise, you'd see Subarus with fucking 4 MAFs on 4 big pipes. But it doesn't work that way because the flow is divided between all the pipes. And so I just realized, which I realized many times, I always forget, that I answer questions that are in the chat, and not everyone can see the chat or have time to read it. So what the guy was asking was, why not use 2 pipes with 2 MAFs and use small diameter pipes? And so I was explaining why that doesn't actually do anything for you. If anything, it increases the complexity and makes everything harder. So yeah, if you're having 2 pipes, then each one's going to have half the flow before, so they have half the flow, therefore they have half the signal strength. It doesn't get you any advantage, any benefit really. Because then it's just like having one big pipe. So, I really worked on that hard for a long time, trying to figure out the same kind of idea, like how can I do 2 maps and get more range, but you really can't. And unless you did, like I was talking about before, with my dual map strategy that I was working on Deptronic with, where you would have a 1.5 bar map sensor as your primary map sensor, and so you could have a 3-inch pipe as your primary map. But then again, see, that's the problem, is that you're still dividing the flow up. With the map sensor, it works fine. With the map sensor, when my idea was that you would use a smaller map sensor for the most resolution to control the engine and normal stuff and whatever. And when you got into high amounts of boost, it would switch over to the higher range map sensor. You don't need as much resolution up top as you do down low for good running and everything. And so I wrote a logic code that allows that to operate almost seamlessly, and it's really only like 2 steps. And it's just an if-then type of code saying that if the primary sensor is greater than X volts, then utilize the secondary sensor. So then it would switch to the other input and know that the other input is a different range. And so it would be if, map 1 is greater than 4.6 volts or 4.5 volts, then 3 volts on primary, on sensor 2 means 22 psi or whatever, right? And so it would have just a logic like that. And that would be really easy to implement and really easy to write and utilize. So that would give us the ability to have more resolution at idle and cruise and that kind of stuff, much like you're trying to achieve with the whole dual math thing. But since it's not that easy with math, because we're looking at actual airflow and not just air pressure, you can't really do it really well. It just doesn't work. And that's where I think that the Cobb hybrid system comes in. You have the hybrid setup with the mass airflow sensor working for a certain range, and then as that range is out, it switches over to speed density based on manifold absolute pressure, which is an awesome system, and Cobb really nailed it. The only issue with that is that potentially you still have a semi-restrictive mass airflow because you can't increase the tube size and get anything out of it. And therefore, like you go to a bigger tube, you got a bigger tube, then you can get more airflow, but you lose resolution down low. So then Cobb said, well, we can also do it the other way. You can have a nice factory. Did you hear that? They're pushing it. That bearing is no longer in existence. That king bearing has left the fucking building. That engine's got like 8 miles on it and it spun a bearing. We didn't build it. It's from a company that we've had like 90-something% failure rate on. And we keep telling people, don't buy them. It's not going to hold up. And it failed in 8 miles. Damn. Anyways, so you can go the other way, use a big ass mass airflow sensor tube so there's no restriction, and then use a small map sensor to run the engine. And then you have really good resolution at higher airflows and have the most accurate fueling you can have with a mass airflow sensor giving the actual measurement. The problem with that is if you're running high boost, you still need a map sensor to read the high boost to control boost. So then you have an issue where you're like, well, the map sensor's got to be big, so I'm already losing resolution. So you don't get as much resolution down low as you would like, but you do gain the advantage of having very accurate fueling on the top end. So a nice 4-inch MAF on a Subaru wouldn't even idle. I mean, you'd have no freaking prayer of driving a 4-inch MAF on a Subaru and being happy with it because it would just probably die a lot and it would suck. It would just be shit. But if you had, the 3-bar running speed density at idle and cruising, it would do a decent job. But then you allow yourself to have the most accurate airflow up top. Then you've got good fueling. Then it's not going to run lean or run rich or something's going to goof it up. So,
Right there.
But anytime you're doing with airflow, it's really hard to maximize resolution and maximize range. It's almost impossible, really, because it's just the nature of the beast. So, anyways, I gotta have Chase order some more fucking banners. I like it. I think it's a cool looking banner. It's just simple. It's just a logo, gold logo on white, but it fucking looks cool. Oh, check this out. This is a little picture that Chase had made. Kevin took the picture, and then Chase had it printed. It's a good printing too. The quality of the print is actually really, really good. Like it's really.
Fingerprints.
Look at that. What, for me? On the wall or what?
No, on the, well, kind of right here.
Where?
Trying to see like there's.
Oh yeah, on the thing. But I mean, that's a good freaking. I mean, this is a big ass print.
A little dirt.
Little dirt. Yeah, it's a really good quality. You ordered online. And I don't know. I mean, look at that. It's just like a hand. I'm just kidding.
From Costco.
Like a little.
Oh, it's Costco online?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Costco shit. Look at that. Look at that fucking quality. That is a really good print. Like, this thing's big. What is that? What is that? 18 by 30 something? 20 something? 18, yeah?
I'd say it's close to.
24 by 36?
I'd say something like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man, inches. I don't know. But yeah, looks good. Looks really good.
Oh.
You guys are done? Sweet, I never did piss. My bladder's screaming right now.
Go for it.
Are you gonna shit?
I was going to.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna end the stream then. Thanks, guys, for stopping by. For Subarus, I don't know. I've never used it, but I don't think that the histograms alone are enough to warrant the use of something like that. It just doesn't seem like a good plan to me, especially when Cobb does it so well. And I can't possibly imagine that HP Tuners has got nearly the speed density program that Cobb does, or the flex fuel program that Cobb does, or the auxiliary input program that Cobb does, or the fuel pressure compensation that Cobb does, or the launch control that Cobb. I mean, it's like all that stuff. I can't imagine that HP Tuners has that, but I'm willing to look at it. I have HP Tuners, so I'm willing to look at it and see if it's any good. But you know, the live tuning that Cobb has, the fucking everything that Cobb has, I just don't see it happening. So, all right, I'm gonna do this because it's right here, and I gotta go.